hold on. We are so giddy. Hey, it's been a minute. This is Jared and my buddy Boyles. We are in the Bang Bang Bunker, and this is Extracted, Season 5, Episode 6. Revenge of the Sixth. So we have been this season talking about the Epstein files because everybody should talk about the Epstein files,
Absolutely.
which is why we're spending $1.2 billion a day killing people in Iran so that we won't talk about the Epstein files. But in this basement in Colorado, her and myself, we're going to talk about the Epstein files because, and interestingly so, their actions speak louder than the emails.
Yes.
And today we saw it with the firing of Pam Bondi. Give me your gut. What do you got, Boyles?
I just have to think, if I'm her, what that must be like.
It's interesting. You know, you look at someone like her who forsook dignity and ethics, who gave up her life, her soul, her reputation, her country to serve this guy, and she gets booted. That's like all of Trump country.
Yep.
All of them right now, watching him talk about how we can't have daycare or Medicare or Social Security because we have to fight wars. And now she gets it personally, and I love it.
I'm giddy on the inside.
Yeah.
She has been, as you know, she was the AG of Florida. She helped craft the sweetheart deal that Epstein got back in 2000.
Back in the day with
9.
Yeah.
And, she's been his pet and Trump's pet. And just the way that she turned on all the victims. And I just have to say, but Jared, the Dow's at 50,000.
Yeah, that you're right.
I just made you so sad.
Yeah. No, I was listening to you and painting a picture in my head. And I mean, that was good. I'm awake now. It's better than coffee.
Yeah.
I thought you had some kind of violent seizure. I was about to get exorcist sprayed. And that's the thing. Yeah, here she is. I mean, debasing herself.
Yes.
I mean, she could have given herself the palm on national TV, and it would have been less than what she did in filling a notebook full of insults to distract from the line of questioning about Epstein. I don't know if you saw this.
The burn book.
This is where she was shouting, but the stock market is at 50,000. And it's embarrassing.
It is.
Like, I don't know how family members of these people, and some have with Mary Trump, with Trump, and the family of Stephen Miller I've seen. I don't know how more family members aren't just coming out in droves and saying, same last name, but no longer us.
Well, and hero arc from your comment, we got to get to Kristi Noem's husband in just a second.
Oh, he's got great boobs.
He has a great rack.
Yeah.
Back to Bondi. I got to think what it's like picking up kids at school and going to church and being in the grocery store. And now not only do people hate you and openly hate you, but you've been fired. So they're really going to let you know what a spawn of Satan's scrotum you are, Pam Bondi.
But see, I think that is hopeful because, and optimistic because of the crowd that she wants to be a part of ties back to Epstein, where these people support each other so that they're not outed. And I don't know how I think these people must insulate themselves from the real world, just as Trump has. I mean, he has no idea what's going on. But I hope that's the case.
I do too. And I don't care what kind of gated community she's in or, kind of has that insulation. I think you and I ought to get a sponsor on the show that gives us enough money that we can fly to Florida and troll her in person properly.
We need a troll sponsor.
Yes, we do.
I would. And people might say, well, boy, you're sure being mean there. But look at what this woman has done. Look at what she's done. She has turned on the victims. She redacted the perpetrators and outed the people who were violated.
And took bribes.
From
the predators.
After she worked for a sponsor of terror in Qatar.
And said that the Epstein client list was on her desk and that never materialized. She also tried to say that there were only 100 emails, Trump was only mentioned 100 times in the Epstein files. He's mentioned more times than Jesus is in the entire Bible.
And that is true.
King James Version, all of them.
Yeah, ironically makes you want to say, Jesus.
Right?
God, what have we come to?
But I just am like I said, I'm giddy because I'm like, okay.
No, I feel it.
And yesterday, a lot of federal judges were blocking things that the administration had done that had gone to the appeals level. And it's like, okay, this is what we're needing. Granted, there's been a lot of damage done, and I don't know if we can fix a lot of it, but the drumbeat is quickening, and people are not hip to having pedophile, Nazi, racist MFers running this country.
Oh, hallelujah. We're about to get Pentecostal up in here. And it's
Seriously.
like handling snakes and
I'm
singing.
going to speak in tongues because
Oh,
I'm
I
so
know.
mad about this. But going back to Kristi Noem, here's the thing. Kash Patel's personal email, and as you know, he's the head of the FBI right
Yeah.
now.
Boy, we're a joke.
Keystone Cops. His personal Gmail gets hacked. And the group that hacked it, okay, first of all, let me one step further. The administration is wrongly assuming that Iran is very much technologically in the dark ages and are not sophisticated online. They are one of the biggest cyber adversaries of our country.
Yeah.
And so when you go and you launch this war on them for no reason, the bear got poked. And so Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security has like a special forces cyber team.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're called the Halud group or something.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones that hacked Kash Patel's email. Rumor is they've also hacked Lockheed Martin and gotten a lot of stuff that was under clearance.
Oh, I'd
from
love
them.
them to hack Oracle. I
Right?
don't know if
Or
you're taking
Oracle.
requests. If you're taking requests.
Right, because Oracle just fired 30,000 people via email.
Yeah.
But point being, that picture of Kristi Noem's husband is rumored to have come from Kash Patel's personal Gmail.
Oh, I was wondering where that came from.
And so after Kristi Noem was fired, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Which was also embarrassing.
Yeah.
For years, there was a rumor that she and Corey Lewandowski had an affair. And then here comes out of Kash Patel's hacked Gmail that Kristi Noem's actual husband is into what they called bimbo kink or something like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that what that is? I don't know.
Why are you asking me? I don't know. What do you think? Yes, I'm just going to agree. I like bimbo kink.
Yes. And so she is now trying to justify her affair with her staffer because of her husband's penchant for wearing women's fake large boobs and dressing as a woman.
That was one of my initial takes, is I wondered if she was totally okay with that coming out, because it could nothing really justifies anything about her existence.
Right.
But that she must feel, based on just the pure evil that I sense that she is, that this is a great opportunity to use that as the hand grenade to blow up that marriage and justify
an
affair with an absolute weasel in Corey Lewandowski, who's shouldn't even be paid by taxpayers, but he has slid into this, and you've likely heard of this. It's just like this void where they're kind of a consultant. So he keeps getting our money just to hang around, excuse my language, on the fuck plane that they had built for Noam to fly around the country.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great point about his sleaziness, because I just think he looks like a giant walking penis, you know. But on the flip side, as much as I'm enjoying seeing these women's demise, once again, none of the men are being held accountable.
No.
You know, we got Ghislaine or whatever.
Yeah, Noam fired, Biondi fired, Maxwell in
country club,
prison, yeah,
right, and yet.
Oh, and then the woman from Goldman Sachs was fired at Rumler, and
Catherine Rumler.
Yeah, all you had, what do we have? Prince Andrew as far as dudes?
That's it.
Well, and then, of course, any dude that has been apprehended beyond Andrew has offed himself, or purportedly, in Brunel in France and Epstein here.
And again, those, people that took their lives, I have read that Russia specializes in making a death look like a suicide. So how much of what we think is like Virginia Gouffet taking her life, or, Jean-Luc Brunel, how much is being killed by either Mossad or Russia, or are they really taking their lives?
Yeah, I think that, we know with Russia now, there's journalists, there's oligarchs that have taken their lives, and we know that wasn't the case. There is the living example in who was going to be solid opposition to Putin in their elections, who was poisoned, and he's alive still. I think that was
Alexander
D
something.
Yeah.
And it changed the guy.
Yeah.
He's like a mutant X-File or
Yeah,
X-Men
yeah,
guy.
no, exactly. No, it's got real, comic book implications. Unfortunately, it's real life. Yeah, and that's the thing, it would be at one point, you'd think it would be on the pale, but, I mean, just look at this guy, Robert Morris, who's a mega church guy, who's a big Trump donor, who just served only 6 months for raping an underage girl, and he's back out. Like, this is every day there is a new, if not more than a few, right-wing pedophiles and peddlers of pedophile porn
Mhm,
that are being locked up, that are
mhm.
being sent away, and I don't know why in the hell, unless if they're are they somehow repressed? And if they are they in the closet, they don't know how to get out? I don't know, but why it's such a right-wing thing, and then it escalates to the billionaire class where they're like, "Oh, we can still do this, but
Mhm,
get away with it," and
mhm.
it's interesting. I sent you there is this new, file that has been found that the FBI put together of everybody financially connected to Epstein, and the woman who found it pointed out that this takes it to another level. It's almost reductive to talk about the pedophilia because the bigger part of that is these are the people that run the
Mhm.
world. The pedophilia is just part of their sickness. But the bigger story is the whole rot of them running the world and all being connected, which in a way gives me just a little bit of hope of like dominoes falling.
Yeah,
And if we keep pushing, if we keep talking about this, that that's the only way this is going to happen. And you can see how they are so desperate to change the topic that they are having our troops killed and injured in Iran. And now we find out hiding the total numbers
yes,
because they want this war to go on. They want it to dominate the headlines because since it has happened, the search results for Epstein have dropped 83% in Google. And so it's working to what they have intended, and Israel's getting what they want because
mhm,
they own Trump because of the Epstein
mhm.
files. It's big. And here we are at this juncture in history, realizing just how terrible the people can be in the world and in this country, and us here having the opportunity to do something about it.
Right.
Did I just go off topic?
No, you're still on
I
topic
feel like I'm
because
holding Christy Noem's husband's boobs
well, you
right
are,
now.
and it would actually
It
probably be
just,
more like that,
guys,
but what you just spoke of is what Steve Bannon has so beautifully designed as flooding the zone. We are so deer in headlights analysis paralysis over Epstein files, the war in Iran, all the crazy bonkers things that this administration has done, ICE in the airports. I mean, you name it. Gas is over $4 a gallon. I mean, global warming, climate change, and for freak's sake, yesterday Artemis blasts off. That gets no media coverage,
mhm.
and
Yeah,
it's like,
it's history making and who is on board of the
yes.
4 people, and
No one's talking
it's
about
gonna set records for as far as we're getting away from Earth as far as orbit and space travel,
it.
and it's not getting the news. NASA probably loves it. They're like, "Okay, let's just get this thing in the sky." Um, yeah, we're being dominated by the whims of the world's wealthiest.
And the world's stupidest. I
Yeah.
mean, like, the fact that over the weekend I'm watching a video footage of stupid Kid Rock with the
Oh, the hell
most horrible
Jesus.
legs I've ever seen on a man,
Yeah.
saluting an army helicopter that probably should not have flown that close.
Yeah, he's like a Nazi chicken with those
And
legs.
that was a big deal. That was a big
Yeah.
no-no.
Yeah.
And now you got Keg's breath coming out going, there won't be any investigation into these pilots. Carry on, patriots.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. So if I do something that's seen as what the administration would applaud or approve, I can be kind of let off the hook on anything. So if I go
Yes.
and rob a bank and then give the money to MAGA, I can't even say that sentence because I never would, but like, am I going to be pardoned and
Yes.
not spent my life in
Well,
prison?
I mean, you've seen the pardon industry grow something like 2,000% since
Yes.
Trump has come into office. He just had the last couple weeks, he pardoned the guy who faked the electric truck and got away with nearly $1 billion in investor
Yep.
money. You've seen him pardon 2 retirement nursing home guys who had built many patients and families out of money. And now those people aren't getting millions of dollars in restitution. But the biggest thing is that Trump, a meandering post speed high. He's at the lectern, and yesterday he is applauding one of the members of the quote unquote press, and he says, "I really like you. You treat me well people, they say I shouldn't idolize people, but if you say good things about me, I don't care how bad you are, I will protect you at any length. This idiot says that.
Yeah.
It's what we already know, but that's what we're dealing with when you see the like of Hague Seth. Calling him the Hague Seth now.
Yeah. No, that's a
Um,
great name.
yeah, just new
I'm
nicknames
hoping
is
it's
all I've
like
got.
The Hague, like,
Yeah.
where the war crimes
Um,
are tried.
I'm
Did
like
you
the nutty guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I'm
That's what I
thinking.
figured.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks. No, that's all I got now is wordplay. I'm just like that annoying guy at the end of the bar. Um, you see him say that. We all know that, but he's saying that now because he feels he has impunity to do and say whatever. But the thing is that he is just the con man that got all the useful idiots together to get him into office
Yeah.
so that all these benefactors of his who really don't like or respect him can go ahead and just take over the country. And it's funny, you could see why, like, Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, they want an autocracy because they
Mhm.
don't want regulations.
No. And in fact, I had just read an article yesterday that Musk has come out and said that once Mars is colonized, it will not be under the laws that we have here on Earth.
Yeah. Which goes back to what? Donald Barr's book,
Yes.
where
Yes.
this is Bill Barr, the former attorney general for Donald Trump. His dad wrote a book about this distant planet where they could have sex
They
slaves.
they traffic women around space.
Yeah, yeah. And he ran a school. So it's
Not
just,
only a school, like the
yeah,
number
the
one
Dalton,
private
yeah, something.
where the wealthy elite of New York City sent their daughters. It was a
Yeah,
girls' high school, I
yeah.
think, and then but it was co-ed at another but yeah, he was there. And then, all of a sudden now you got Bill Barr as DOJ head through weird times like Iran-Contra and the first Trump administration, and now here we are. And he went to summer camp growing up with Jeff Epstein. So tell me that these things are all not related, they're not covering for each other,
Well,
and
it's not even whimsy anymore. I mean, you look
no.
at BCCI, the bank that is now
Yes.
gone, that the bars were involved in, which had been in trouble for trafficking girls.
Edward Saffa, that
Yeah,
bank. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Robert
So
Maxwell had accounts
Robert
there.
Maxwell, who created textbooks for us as we grew up, and was also a triple agent for Israel, England, and what did I forget? Israel, it was Russia? Some people almost think he was a quadruple agent.
Well, and that's what I think about Epstein, but I think for sure with Maxwell, England and maybe even the US and Israel for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a documented Mossad agent in the 80s.
And they had a daughter who had then become the front woman for Epstein and Ghislaine. And I think you go back to Bondi and you see her kind of being groomed for that
Mhm.
role. And that's what she continued to play in our government
Mhm.
on our dime.
Mhm.
So I love her being humiliated,
I do too.
but I'm just tired of it being the women.
I know. And that's why I'm like, well, on one side, I'm psyched, but on the other side, I'm like, when are the men that did these things going to start to fall like dominoes? And read another article recently where people were like, you know what, you need to prepare that it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that in other countries, men are being forced to step down
Hmm.
and come forward, and even countries are apologizing to the Epstein victims. And yet, everyone here in this country is starting wars and trying to make other things happen in order just to distract from what we know to be the truth. And I still want to know what the hell is in the remaining how many terabytes that have not been released?
It's like 40 or
Yeah,
something. Yeah. I
that's a
mean,
massive
and it's
amount.
estimated that we have 2% of the Epstein files.
Yeah.
And yeah, you talk about the global effect. And here in America, there's this kind of twofold that's keeping us from really acting. Well, threefold. And, one is that there is still this MAGA population that clings to Trump. Two is the influence of Israel on our media. Like, I don't, when you would say that a decade ago, you might be hauled away, but now you literally see their push. Like, when you look at Ellison's attempt to buy CNN and all those, he was told no 8 times and he kept coming back. They wanted it so badly, they paid Netflix billions of dollars to walk away. They paid them billions of dollars to not participate in the negotiations so they could get a hold of that media. And then the third thing is Democrats are absolute pansies,
Well, yes.
with some exceptions. Yeah.
Going back to Ellison, I think that media deal was with another clandestine plan, which is that they and Palantir are essentially doing the data management and data storage of all of our digital footprints
Mhm.
online and our texts and emails and likes,
Mhm.
and when you text someone something horrible or you send a naked selfie or whatever.
I was just say, clear back when the Homeland Security was passed after 9/11, they they created the ability to capture all of this, but they never had the ability to organize it until AI. Anyway, go ahead.
AI, Palantir, and
Mhm.
now Oracle,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So Oracle is going to get so much money from the government in, facilitating this. And as we know, Ellison is a Zionist, and they're just gonna take this as far as they can go. But if you've read anything about the Epstein files and you've read how these men see themselves versus the rest of the world, you can start to understand where the imbalance of power is and how
Mhm.
we got to get rid of a lot of these people.
Well, the imbalance of power too. I mean, it's positioned into us so dramatically just with the war in Iran. I mean, this is something that really nobody wanted, and it's happening.
Hmm.
And we have to just sit on the sidelines and watch us be the bad guy.
Hmm.
Watch us be humiliated by the Iranians who, not long ago, were not. Most of the world wasn't a huge fan
Hmm.
of Iran. And not long ago, Trump was, promoting him freeing the Iranian people, and now it's just all out assault.
And no new wars, like everything
Yeah.
that I mean, I would think if I was MAGA, I'd be furious
Mhm.
because if I really voted for this idiot because no new wars, cost of life and living is going to come down, blah, blah, blah. All of that has turned on its head and
Mhm.
he's full of shit, just like his diapers. And yeah, I said that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And I think that anybody that thinks that they can show up to the Supreme Court and try to, bully or stare them
Yeah.
down and strongman them.
Yeah, he's just a spoiled kid used to
Yeah,
getting his way,
he's a
which
sore loser.
and I think that in part was part of Bondi's downfall because she was already getting into his bad graces because she wasn't protecting him well enough, even as much as she did, in completely reducing herself to a stain on his shoe. But yesterday he goes to the Supreme Court and then he storms out, realizing it's not going to go his way. This is the Supreme Court deciding if birthright citizenship is constitutional, even though it's in the
Yeah,
Constitution.
14th Amendment.
14th,
You
yes.
can't undo that.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing. Republicans stand for nothing anymore.
No.
They used to stand for, against sex trafficking. They used to stand up for the Constitution. They used to say no more foreign wars, and all that's gone. So they stand for nothing unless they extricate themselves from MAGA world. But
Right.
you could see Bondi, I think, in part was a victim of that because he felt weak, and you could see this cycle with Trump. When he feels weak, he lashes out in a weak man's
Yeah.
way, and taking out Bondi, which I mean, even though she's absolutely terrible as AG and for this country, she's good for him and wasn't good enough because he needed to show some strength. And of course, who has to fall? A woman.
That's right. But what I'm going to be looking forward to is when she is needing help from others and, goes to reach out and say, I'm in a bad spot. I need help. And
Mhm,
I don't think many are going to want to help her because of what she's done. All she should have done in that courtroom that day was to turn around to the women that
mhm,
bravely showed up and just say, woman to woman, I cannot believe that you have suffered like this. I am so sorry, even if she didn't mean it, but just to acknowledge them and just to validate what they went through.
mhm,
But her allegiance to terrible, monstrous pedophiles was more important to her than her own gender. And that to me, like, to me, fuck around and find out. And I don't mean to swear so much, but I am pretty
I'm so
riled up.
sorry about her. Her views and her many swears, her many derivations from the path of the civilized human do not represent me or
Oh, wait.
her or us.
But we didn't give our disclaimer of like our
Well,
opinions
yeah, we'll
don't
put it.
reflect what we
I'll
do for a
put it on
living.
front. I'm
Thank you.
using a different interface now. I used to do editing and titles, and now it's like go.
Nice.
Uh,
You're too busy for all this.
but yes, but you point out something that we should be reminded over and over that whatever we previously thought were the boundaries for human behavior and the treatment of others have been not that they've been should be destroyed. Whatever you perceive them to be, and we see that all over the globe with deaths of civilians in great numbers, and we see that here. You see that in the Epstein files. You see that from victims. You see that from victims being ignored. You see that from a country that supposedly was concerned about sex trafficking, that supposedly is against pedophilia, but hasn't acted as such. And when you look at the Epstein files with the Epstein class, they all treat everyone else with total disregard, and they want that. They want that to be institutionalized, and that's what they're pushing for right now. So you hear, for example, Sam Altman, an AI guy, saying that, yeah, AI is expensive, but you don't have to feed it like a human. And you can hear just in that the disregard for humanity,
Yeah.
for us, because we are a problem. Our wants and needs are a problem to their ultimate goal. Our regulations so that they don't drink all the water in Arizona or Colorado or Arkansas, wherever they want to set up, that's a problem. And you're seeing this really wild thing. Corporations in America are annoyed that they have to go through you to get your money. And that is crazy, but it's so true.
It's so true.
They just want to get at our money, and we're asking and when we ask for accountability, then they attack our institutions, and that's what we're seeing en masse. And we're seeing it by people who we should no longer be shocked. Every day we're learning are more and more depraved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to your point, in fact, I got in an argument last night with someone about blockchain and how the government's trying to push this cryptocurrency. And it's not just because they want to be hip and be on, into that and the blockchain and everything, because it's a form of monitoring. You know what I mean? And so if they can see who has what in all their accounts, and then they've got access to all your digital interactions online, they can do whatever they want to make you look a certain way.
Yeah.
Case in point, and this is going to sound conspiratorial, and I don't mean it, but yesterday, and again, you didn't hear about it, along with Artemis blasting off, the man that supposedly shot Charlie Kirk, the bullet remnants don't match the gun.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Not shocked. Yeah.
You and I are not shocked by that. But again, it's like
and that's mainstream
fall
news.
guys.
That's not like Alex Jones shouting from his prison cell.
People were fired from their jobs for celebrating the fact that someone with those views was taken out.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine. And I know that people are going to be, and I might be one of them, be dancing a jig when other folks are gone. But
well, I mean, that can be excused. Look how he reacts when people die. I mean, a war hero.
Oh my God, right.
And Robert Mueller. I mean,
war hero, civil servant, did so much good. And you've got a draft dodging, lying pedophile who wears diapers saying, good, I'm glad he's dead.
Well, and it's an interesting tie-in back to Barr, because Bill Barr did much to hide the Mueller report. And because he needed to protect Trump, because Russia has the details on Trump. And we've seen this laid out before us, as in Senator Sheldon Whitehouse from Connecticut, God bless him, he should be president, laid out how Russia has the dirt on Trump about Epstein, likely Israel does too. And that's why the Russian thing was buried and called a hoax.
And I'm sure Iran does too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
because they are so good at getting into systems, and that's a compliment.
I know. I don't want to see another thread on social media. So-and-so's going to release all these things. No, don't talk about it anymore. Just do it. If you have it, do it, okay? I got nothing to lose here.
I know.
Everything to gain.
I had a thought this morning in the shower, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about this.
What if she just never spoke again?
Oh,
what the fuck? She was so serious. Yeah, anyway.
It's like, I feel like all the time on media, there's commercials for FanDuel and DraftKings and all that. I just wish that, the SCOTUS hearings could somehow work into FanDuel and DraftKings and all that, because, I would be putting a lot on certain.
I think you can. Call sheet and all those prop bet.
Oh,
apps.
I don't know about those apps.
Oh, God. It may be the last thing she ever says, because she'll be in her basement betting on Supreme Court outcomes. Yeah, I mean, the Trump administration has been gaming these apps by betting on their own actions.
I didn't know that.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. So it's interesting. There is so much happening to us, but that means there's just more opportunities to fight it. At a local level, with the creep show that runs the flock cameras that people are fighting in this town, they want, and by they, we're seeing a clearer picture of who that is. We're seeing these oligarchs. We're seeing the Teals and the Musks. We're seeing foreign interference. We're seeing people who want to monitor us so we don't protest, so that we stay in line under the doctrine of safety. But we're seeing now people rising up locally and fighting the flock cameras, which have been easily hacked, and you could get data of you and your family walking down the street. We're seeing this massive surveillance move in on on this show. We're seeing people recommend when you fly, take a burner phone because ICE can confiscate your phone and delete the biometrics, because they don't have the right to get your password, but they do have the right to get you to unlock it with your biometrics, which is a strange little law that should be updated. So there's opportunity everywhere. And if you want to be inspired beyond that, a woman barely in her 20s just sued Meta and freaking won.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. And because of her addiction to social media. And that's a great story. Wall Street Journal has a podcast on that. It talks about how they did it. So if you want to know more, but things are happening because unfortunately it's all over the goddamn place, but we all got to pick a battle and go.
And I'm just going to float this out there, another unpopular opinion. I really think that the pardon needs to go away, whether it's presidential, at the state level. The fact that our governor wants to pardon frickin' Tina Peters for doing things that were so egregious and just against the law to appease the great orange leader makes me want to puke and swallow and puke it back up again.
An update on that. I mean, her sentence was commuted, but only to be resentenced.
Yes, and I hope when it goes back in front of that court that they double or triple it.
Yeah, and she's an absolute
she dies in jail.
It was a terrible human, and her and so many others. That, I mean, she represents the what is the word? The invincibility they feel they have. There's a better word for that. I can't think of it.
But this weird Trump loyalty. I mean, like, he literally was moving mountains to get her pardon. And that makes me go, what does she know on him that he's now trying to help get her out so she doesn't let that out? You know, because why would you let some county clerk from, the rural side of Colorado, why would that concern the president of the United States so much and wanting to get her out of jail?
Well, it's like Minnesota. I mean, Colorado is a very strong blue state. We're a successful state. We have everything is on the up and up.
She was in a red district.
Right, but he just wants to, what he wants to do is he's trying to divide Colorado, and it's not working with her because people, even on the red side, I know a county clerk that used to work with her. She was actually on local TV crying because she had, as a county clerk, done everything she needed to under pressure from Trump people pushing her to not do what she's supposed to do. And for her to see Tina Peters be exonerated crushed her. And she got a lot of media, and she quit her job and she's left that town after her entire life there.
And that's the thing. So many lives are being ruined, and trauma and horrificness that people have to live with. And yet this orange idiot is still skating free, and all of his associates. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with any of it.
It's amazing. You remind me of Gary Coleman from Different Strokes. I'm not okay with that. What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about?
You're just coming up with taglines. Well, my 30-minute clock has been going off, and I like what we did today. There was a lot, and you scared me. Are you dead? What's wrong with your hands? Holy crap, that's amazing. Could you just wave them in the atmosphere so we get snow?
Yeah, I wish.
Jesus.
We need some moisture.
Elsa, yeah. Okay, well, this has been Extracted Season 5, Episode 6.
The 6th.
And we are bringing Epstein out there into the forefront. And as you heard today, there's so much there that when you talk about Epstein, you bring up other things. But you know what that is? All opportunity.
That's right. And gives me a mission for the rest of my life to hunt down every single one of you.
Okay.